In this week's Torah portion, Vayakhel, we learn a very important and beautiful lesson about bringing our unique qualities out into the world. Shalom, my friends. This is the Kiva Gersh with Israel in 5, where we give you everything Israel in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, want to keep the conversation going, please do so below in the comments. We're almost at the very end of the book of Exodus, just one more Torah portion, and we will have finished the book of Exodus, which is a tremendous accomplishment. And of course, at the beginning of the book of Exodus, we learned about the slavery of the Israelites in Egypt, and we learned about their eventual freedom. And as they're wandering around the desert or journeying through the desert on their way to the land of Israel, they're given this commandment to build the Mishkan, the Tabernacle, which we've been learning about for the past few weeks. The past few weeks have focused on the materials needed for the construction of the Mishkan, the different pieces and parts, the different vessels that will be contained in the Mishkan. And this week, the building begins, the construction begins. And it's led by a couple of people. One, his name is Bitzalel, and they have a team of artisans who are building the different parts of the Mishkan, and eventually they'll all be brought together to create the Mishkan and to create this holy sanctuary in the midst of the Israelite nation. Now, it's very interesting because the Torah, in many places, including in this week's Torah portion, calls the people who are constructing the Mishkan itself, who are making the parts, building the parts of the tabernacle, they're called Chacham Lev, which means wise of heart, which I always think is such an interesting and beautiful phrase because typically we think of chachma, wisdom, as having to do with the brain, right? Somebody's mind, they're very smart, they're very wise, they understand things. Very rarely do you see it connected to the lev, the heart. But that combination is so telling of what the Mishkan is and what it's all about. Because we learn that these people who are building the Mishkan don't only need to be wise of mind, but also wise of heart, right? You might know that there's this beautiful mitzvah, commandment, custom, tradition in Judaism for men to put on something called tefillin every morning. And it's a black box with straps, and inside the black box are different sections of the Torah. And one goes opposite our heart, and one goes opposite our head, our brain on top of our head. And they really represent the kind of two seats of wisdom. Now, we do have wisdom of our brains, of our mind. That's a typical wisdom that we're used to, but we also have wisdom of our heart, right? We need to use both in order to live a balanced and full and complete life. More than that, though, it's very interesting. It says about the people who constructed the Mishkan, these chachmei lev, these wise ones of heart. Where do they learn how to do all these things? The woodworking, the metalwork, the weaving work. There's so many different skills that were needed to build all the parts of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle. Where did they learn this from? They were just slaves in Egypt. Now they're wandering around the desert. Who taught them? Who knew? And I found a very interesting commentary that said basically they knew from the inside, they knew from their heart. Because, and it says like nobody was there to teach them. They didn't take a course or a seminar or a workshop. How'd they know how to do all this stuff? They never seen it done before. They learned from their heart. They learned from the inside that they had this innate wisdom. They had these inherent skills and abilities. And they tapped into them and they brought them out and used them for this incredible, holy, beautiful purpose, which is such an amazing teaching for us in our lives that we're all born with certain qualities and traits, right? It's the whole conversation of nature versus nurture. And in the end, we know that it's both, that there's something that we're born with. That's the nature aspect of ourselves, those traits, those abilities. And there's the nurture, right? There's things either we learn or we develop over time as a result of living and learning in the world. But it's so important for each and every single one of us to understand, first of all, that we do have, each one of us has special qualities, special traits inside. And we should tap into those. And when we do, and when we develop them, and when we allow them to grow and to sprout, and to become their fullest selves, so to speak, we really, one, become our fullest selves as a result, but also we bring out into the world that which we were brought into the world to bring into the world. We fulfill our mission. We fulfill our life mission. What we have naturally inside and inherently or innately inside is part of who we are and what we're doing here and our mission. And Judaism teaches a lot about that we're all here for a reason. We're all here for a purpose. Right? So these chachmei lev, these wise ones of heart who build the Mishkan, right, use their own, inner traits, qualities, abilities to build this incredible, incredible structure, which was the Mishkan, the Tabernacle, right? And also at the same time gave us a lesson and an inspiration so many generations later, after the Mishkan was built, to do the same in our lives. What can we build? What can we bring out into the world by tapping into us, what we already know, right? What we already have, right? The abilities and the traits and the capabilities that we're born with. And I think it's an amazing thing once we start looking inside and we start to discover and realize what we have. It really emboldens us. It really strengthens us to really bring that out into the world, right, for the benefit of the world, to help build a better world and to create a world that is a better place for everyone and for all living things and for all of humanity. And so there's a blessing in this week's Torah portion that we should really go inside, look inside, realize those things that we're born with, right? Realize those traits that we have and use them in the best way possible to make this world a better place and ourselves better people at the same time. All the best, my friends, and Shabbat Shalom.